I'm going to talk to you about a few advantages to using my Google spreadsheet to track daily documentation for services provided. Now this can be used by speech-language pathologists, social workers, physical therapists, occupational therapists, and many more. First off, I'd like to say that you can access this spreadsheet online and offline from any computer, tablet, or device at any time. For example, you can take your tablet into the classroom and do push-in with a few students, use your tablet to document student performance, then go back to your speech office and finish your notes on your computer. And they will immediately sync as soon as Wi-Fi or internet is available. Now, in order to use the spreadsheet on your tablet, there are two options. You can access it through your Google Drive or through google.com. If you would like to download the Google Sheets app, it will help you quickly access your files, and it is helpful in collecting data on the go. You can also use the speech-to-text function to dictate for you. So if you are using your tablet, simply click the microphone button and then speak. But if you are on your computer, you will need to download a Google extension called Voice Note 2. And to do this, all you have to do is Google Voice Note 2. Click here. The very first one says Chrome Web Store. Once you click there and download, it will bring up something like this, and it will be called Voice Note 2 with a green microphone. From here, you can come over to the microphone and speak whatever you would like it to type. And it does work with punctuation as well. So for example, Ryan earned a 40% accuracy, period. You can then copy and paste this information by right-clicking, copy, and then pasting it directly into the cell in which you'd like it in your document. So that means no more typing lengthy paragraphs. This is useful when documenting notes from a meeting, phone call, or consultation with a teacher. You can also copy and paste information from emails. Okay, so now I'd like to show you the different tabs here on the bottom of my spreadsheet. I'm going to start off by showing you the documentation tab, and this is where you'll input all of the data for a given student. Now this one is already filled out with an example student. So here, this is where, like I said, you will find the information such as the date, the student name, the type of therapy provided, the notes, the speech goals. You can also document indirect services such as IEP meeting, student unavailable. This is going to be all of your students that you see. So as you can tell, the initials are different because this is going to be a running tab of all the students that I see. I will explain later how you can filter out to view just one student at a time. Now you'll also notice that there are two different date columns. There's the month column as well as the date column. And I added a little note here to explain why. Under the month it says use only for direct services. Under the date it states to use for all entries, direct and indirect. So the reason we're doing this is that we want to make sure that we are calculating the attendance correctly. So if you are writing a note about a communication, such as sending home a progress report, that is not something that is counted toward a direct service with your student. Therefore, there should be nothing in this box here that says month used for direct services only. It is left blank. But if you are seeing a student for a group therapy session, you will input this information in the month column because you want it to count towards your attendance. And also, you will not have to type the number in this month column. It will automatically calculate itself based on the date that you type here in column B. Also, you will notice there are arrows here under the service type with a drop-down box of various choices for you to choose. Or if you'd like, you can also just start typing and options will appear and you can select from there. And you'll also notice different items will color code. So if there is a meeting, it will color code. If the student is unavailable or absent, it will color code. So this is just to kind of help you organize. Also, the goals will color code based on the number targeted. So goal 1, 2, 3, each of the goals will be a different color. Also, the percentage of accuracy will calculate itself based on the fraction that you put in. This is especially helpful during articulation and language therapy. I will show you how to do that. You type the equal sign and then type in a fraction, such as the student earned 8 correct out of 13. Click enter, and it calculates the percentage, 62% accuracy. And if you'd like to refer back up to this note later, you can see at the top it says 8 out of 13. So you know how many opportunities they were given in order to earn that 62%. Also note this column must have a percentage sign after it, or the percentage will not calculate into the formula that I've created on the attendance page, which I will show you in just a moment. Also note, if you are going to target 2 different goals or objectives in one session, they'll need to be in 2 separate lines. So for example, here with NL, I'm going to enter a row or insert a row below, and I'm going to say that we targeted 2 objectives that day. So we did 2, and we also targeted objective 3. And this, he earned 2 out of 3 correct. And I come over here, I type in his initials and the date. So as you see, it takes a little bit for the information to come as it is thinking. It did calculate my percentage like it was supposed to, and the 3 is there as well. So we have the name and we have the date, just showing that this student worked on 2 different objectives, and they're color-coded correctly. And he worked on 2 different objectives that day. So, the reason why we want to have them in 2 separate lines is because on the attendance page, we have some really cool formulas that we'll create based on the information that is put on the first page here called documentation. So, here's where you enter all of your students' names, and I just entered initials, but you will enter the names. And they all need to be spelled exactly the same they are on every page. This includes the capitalization. So I would not use any nicknames here, but if you do, they must be typed exactly the same on every page. So, for example, in the first row here, you'll see RA. The only thing that I type on this entire page is the minimum frequency of times that this student will be seen per month. So RA has to be seen at least 1 time per month. So the frequency on the IEP may say 1 to 3 times a month, but I'm just going to write the minimum frequency 1. And everything else in this row will calculate itself based on the formulas that I have created and the data that you input on the first sheet called documentation. So it says that RA has been seen a total of 26 times, and it calculates how many times she is seen each month. And it will color code green once the minimum frequency stated here in this column B matches per month. Now, you will notice if the name is not spelled correctly or the same, or if an extra letter is added, watch what happens. All of these turn to zeros because you did not type it in exactly the same as it was on the first page. If you type it the same, all of the data will appear correctly. That is very important. Also, it calculates the number of times that a goal is targeted. So for example, in this row, RA targeted goal 1 2 times with 94% accuracy overall. She targeted goal 2 1 time with 88% accuracy. Goal 3 4 times with 71% accuracy. And she did not have a 4th or a 5th goal. That's why it says 0 there. If you chose to delete that, you could. I just left it there as a reference. It's saying error because there's no information there. However, the information for goal 1 through 3 is correct because she has 3 goals. Now, if you go to the second tab here at the bottom, you'll see it's called View/Print One Student. Now, in this tab, you will see where it says student name on the very top in row 1. If you type a student's name exactly the way it is in the first sheet called documentation and click enter, this will generate a student report for the name that you have provided. This will be a quick way to access student information for one student. Whether you want to view or print for that student, it will do so accordingly. It will take a minute to generate the list, so don't panic after you type in the name if it takes a while for it to calculate. Okay, so that was a prime example of me typing in the initials incorrect. So this one is under MHH. When I just typed in MH, nothing happened. But when I added the second letter to get it exactly the way it is on the first page, his report generated. Okay, so if we go back to the documentation page, I'd like to show you how you can quickly drag and drop and copy information. So let's say we're going to document that there is no school because of a snow day. We can type this information for one student and then quickly drag it down to apply to multiple students. Okay, so we have NL, AS, DS, and CC. And this no school day, because of snow, applies to all of them. You can select the blue box in the corner and drag it down. And that's a quick way to make a note for multiple students at the same time. Now this will not work with numbers, so do not try it with the date. As you can see, it says 9/22 of 15. If I try to drag that down, it will make the numbers go in sequential order. 22, 23, 24, and 25. So that will not work. You have to do it only for text, and it works perfectly for text. Okay, now to turn the filter on, which is something that you'll need to do if you would like to see data for just one student, click in the corner box here, and then this option right here says turn filter off or turn filter on. Filter is off as now. Filter is on when you see the little triangle boxes. Now if you'd like to select one student, you touch the box, click clear, which is temporary. You can start typing the student's name, select, and click OK. Now you can see information for just one student. You could also do this by date if you want to. You can sort and pick information just from, say, January 6th. This is what you did on January 6th. This is helpful in showing parents, administrators, and special ed providers student progress. Okay, so I also added a box on this sheet for activity in case you would like to name the activity or worksheet that you completed to help you keep track of what you have done so you do not repeat activities with students. There's a column that says Medicaid. If you type yes, it will color code pink. This is a quick way to access your Medicaid only students. So if I wanted to clear this and only view Medicaid eligible students, I could do so. Note that the box again is green. That is showing the filter is on. And it looks like you only have one student on your spreadsheet. If you select that box and select all, everyone else will come back. So that is just a few of the advantages to using my spreadsheet. Okay, so many of the things that we discussed are going to be located here at the bottom under quick tips. So this is something that I added just to give you a reference. So if you have any questions, this is a place that you can go to find a couple of the quick tips that I just mentioned in this video. You could also go to my website. Under tutorials, I have many different links to watch videos, step-by-step tutorials. I also have screenshots for you to view to help you understand the basics of Google Sheets, as well as some tips and some how-to guides. So how to copy and paste information, how to view or print data. All of this we talked about in the video, but if you need a quick access to the tutorials, you can definitely visit my website, and that will give you the information that you need in order to complete some of these things on your own. Through my website, you can also click the Contact Me button, and if you have any questions about the products, feel free to contact me at any time. Thank you.